All right, let me get this off of the screen. Okay, all right. Hello, I am doing this very quickly because I typically don't talk about this kind of stuff on the I Need a Man channel, but it all kind of blends together. So, for those of you that follow us on the I Need a Man channel, I'm actually a um, credentialed journalist. And so I have a whole other space where I talk about, more of the political things and all that. But this has to do directly with what we're dealing with. So I'm making this really, really quick video because it is important. If you have daughters or if you are a young woman or granddaughters or nieces, cousins or whatever, that is 18 or over or will be 18 at any such point, this news highly affects you. So let me show you guys what I am talking about. And I'm just going to do this very quickly. All right. So number one, for those that don't know, maybe you're a little bit younger. There's something that's been in America forever. It's called the selective service. Men 18 and over, by the time they're 20, they must register for the selective service. What that means is if a draft is ever called by the United States military, those men may be enlisted for service. Okay. It is a felony if a man does not do that. It is a felony. Okay. Now, we haven't had a draft since about, I think, 70, like around the 70s, right? However, I noticed that a bill started going around a few months ago. And let me show you what that bill was. All right, so this particular bill here, let me see if I can make this bigger, guys, because I know you can't really see it on your end. And I might not be able to make it too much bigger on here. Hold on, give me a second, please. All right, here we go. All right, so there was a bill going around, and it was a defense budget bill. What you guys got to understand about all these bills, right? Again, those of you that's on the I Need a Man channel, I'm actually a journalist, so you guys don't get to necessarily see this side of me, all the time. But these bills, what you got to understand is that, say you see something called the Defense Act or whatever act, a lot of time in that language is all kind of stuff that we don't know anything about, and they design it that way. These bills are sometimes hundreds of pages long, right? And so every now and then I'll read them. And so I had read this particular one and something stuck out to me, behind all of that. And it was this here. Hang on one second. All right. It says expands selective service registration to include women. Repeat. Expands selective service registration to include women. Now, what happened was this. Supposedly that language got dropped. Supposedly that language got dropped when it went to Congress. Okay, but you got to be very careful. Your government is very witty. That language was very specific. That language said expand the enlistment to include women. Okay. But let me tell you what happened. Now, I'm not really following this bill, but I have my alerts set up on the congressional website that it dings me anytime there's an update on a bill or a certain bill that I'm looking for. So I got a ding yesterday on this one. And let me show you what they've done. I would say unbelievable, but nothing's unbelievable with our government. Okay, what they've done is this. It says, instead of saying expanded registration to women, watch it, expanded registration to all Americans. Now look at what they did here. Section 3A 50 USC 3802 is amended as follows: by striking male citizen and inserting citizen, by striking male person and inserting person, by striking present himself and inserting appear, and by striking so long as he and inserting so long as such alien. Let me show you guys a little bit more on this, okay? This part was really, really, because a lot of times people think, well, I'm married, I got kids. I'm not going to have to do that. Oh, let's look at that. So further on down, striking enlisted men and inserting enlisted persons. Striking accrue to him and insert accrue to such alien. And then the next section, by striking, other than wives alone, except in cases of extreme hardship, so they've even taken out the hardship thing, and by striking wives and children and inserting spouses and children. So now let me explain for those who really don't understand what is going on and the major implications of this. First of all, what you're looking at right here is a selective service website. And it says right on here, white earned women are required to register. And it says the Military Selective Service Act, as is written, only authorizes the registration of male persons. In order for the selective service to be authorized to register women, Congress would have to pass legislation amending the current law. So again, like I was telling you guys, I got dinged yesterday because right here, you can see it passed the House. Make sure you guys are seeing this right. As you can see, it passed the House and it got returned to the calendar just of March 2022 for the Senate to vote on it and then for the president. So the smoke and mirrors about changing the language, well, removing the word women on there, it was just smoke and mirrors like they normally do. So they took out the word women altogether and they're changing it to persons. What does this mean? And why are they doing this now? Unless you're living under a rock, there's a lot going on with Russia, Ukraine, a lot more deeper than it thinks, but I don't get into that on the I Need a Man channel. But war is imminent. Again, they haven't done the draft since the 70s, but war is imminent. And so all women, if this passes, all women 18 to 26 will have to, from here on out, register for the selective service just like men. What that means is if they put the draft into effect at wartime and their military resources depleted up, your daughter, yourself, your wife, or whoever may be called upon to serve. This is a major, major change in the fabric of how this country does business. And also, let me explain to you, and some of you innocently just don't realize. Again, I don't like to get into this on the channel, but I just have to say this. A lot of you all do not understand at all. Yep, you guys got to hear this. You guys got to hear this. If you got daughters, you got to hear this. Like you said, Lavish, wow, because, you know, this is it. But what you guys don't understand is this is what they do. Please, if you hear nothing else I say, this is what they do to sell you. They make it seem as though you're missing out if you're not a part of this. So as you see the marketing campaigns for this, it's going to be like, yeah, well, you know, women can do what men do and it's not fair. And see, that word equity is a trick word. It's always been a trick word. There's no such thing as equity. It doesn't exist. It doesn't even exist in nature, right? And so what they have done is they use trick words to trick you into, well, it's equitable, it's fair, it's this, it's that. And so it makes you subconsciously feel like you're missing out. That's how they're going to, let me show you how they did it. Hang on one sec. If I go back to this article where it says Congress drops the language drafting women, because they did drop that language, but they put the language in persons, okay? Because you remember, your gender don't mean anything. Gender don't mean we all equal, okay? And so basically the New York Post tried to make it seem like this is a conservative slap in the face, the complete BS, the language requiring women to include the draft. You know, prominent conservatives are pushing back, which again is all BS. It's all smoke and mirrors, because when you actually look at it, if you look at the real bill, it actually has more It has, I think, 6 Republican senators and 5 Democratic senators. So this is across the board, okay? What this will mean if you have daughters from here on out, but like say this passes. So obviously this is back on the calendar to get voted on, right? And it's seeming like from what I'm reading, it's probably going to pass. That means that if that does it, your daughters right now have to go register for selective service. If they do not, that is a felony. Now, that doesn't mean that if they institute the draft, that they're going to be drafted, but they could be. This forever will change the fabric of America. It will forever change how people look at women, right? And so for those who have bought into the absolute lie, especially, I really want you to share this with college-age girls. College-age girls and some of their mothers and all that stuff, because they're really pumping this stuff, and what you guys don't understand is that this has been a continual brainwashing. When they first did this with the First World War, I believe, to get women in the workplace, they needed women in the workplace because the men were they were off fighting the war. So they needed people to be in the factories. So they tricked women into making them feel like they were missing out by being a wife and a mom waiting on their husband to come home. They tricked him by saying, yeah, you can have your own money and all that. So it got women to go in the workplace, World War I. That forever changed the fabric. I'm not saying women not supposed to work. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that changed the fabric of America. This here will be the nail in the coffin. Okay? So if this bill passes, your daughters from here on out will have to register for selective service. And if they institute the draft in a time of war, your daughters may be pulled to, whether it's combat or whatever, they may be pulled to serve. This is what you ask for, ladies. The women who say that we're equal, the women who say you can do what men do. It's easy to say that when you're talking about money. It's easy to do that when you're talking about sex, right? We can do what men do. Men can sleep around, we can sleep around. But sweetheart, make sure you keep that same energy for real life, because men have always had to register for selective service. Now it's your turn. So if you don't agree with this bill, you better contact your senators. But I think that this is dead in the water. It's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Okay. All right. So guys, I'm getting off of here. Again, I don't really go into political stuff on this particular channel, but I thought that this was very necessary. I need you guys to tag and share this with every single person who has a daughter, no matter what age, up to age 26, to let them know what is going on, because right now we are asleep. But again, why do you think they're doing this right now? Why do you think they're doing this right now? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Okay. All right, guys, take care, and make sure you tune in tomorrow at Wednesday at 9 p.m. EST for I Need a Man show. We're talking about money and finances and all that stuff. But please share this. Please share this with your daughters, especially share this with the girls in school that are always talking about we can do, because they've been indoctrinated, right? So yeah, you got your chance, sweetheart. If they pass this legislation, you will forever have to do what men do. Y'all asked for this. Y'all didn't want to be wives and mothers and all that stuff. So do what the men do. Okay. All right. Well, guys, until next time, Vanessa Lynn.